So I wanted to do a video on biotin. Now, biotin is, so of course I wrote this down. Most of this information is from the Linus Pauling Institute. The reason I like to use the Linus Pauling Institute for a lot of my information on micronutrient optimization is, of course, Linus Pauling was the co-founder of the discipline known as orthomolecular medicine, along with Dr. Abraham Hoffer, who was the co-founder of orthomolecular medicine or orthomolecular psychiatry. Dr. Hoffer used high-dose nicotinic acid to treat schizophrenic patients successfully. And it's very important to understand that. Now, as I go on, I want people to know I'm not a doctor, I'm not a physician, I'm not a DO, I'm not an MD, I'm not a nurse, I'm not a nurse practitioner, I'm not a chiropractor, I'm not a nutritionist, I'm not a dietitian, I'm none of that stuff. These videos are for entertainment purposes only. So let's get into what biotin does. Biotin, like pretty much every nutrient, is necessary for proper gene expression. This is why understanding the concepts expressed by Dr. Bruce Ames in his triage theory of aging and disease are so very important, because Dr. Bruce Ames has proven the concepts of orthomolecular medicine, as has Dr. Joel Wallach proven the concepts of orthomolecular medicine. I will leave links to both Dr. Bruce Ames's theory and Dr. Wallach's concepts of the necessary nutrients. Now, there is no known level of toxicity with biotin. However, an important caveat is this: biotin can skew troponin tests. What a troponin test is if you have had a heart attack or may have had a heart attack or damage to the cardiac muscle, they test for the amount of troponin in the blood, and too much biotin in the body can skew those tests. It can make it artificially high or artificially low. That's why they recommend that you tell your doctor if you're on high dose biotin, biotin therapy. Large doses of pantothenic acid or B5 can compete with biotin for availability. So if you're supplementing with the two, supplement with them separately to maximize, a couple hours apart, to maximize the absorption of both the vitamins. Okay, biotin can Okay, anti-epileptic drugs can reduce biotin levels in the body. The Linus Pauling Institute recommends 30 micrograms per day of biotin. Adults 50 plus, adults that are aged 50 years or greater, have a much greater need for biotin than people under 50 years of age. Biotin is also extremely necessary in the first portion of life. When the fetus begins developing, biotin is extremely necessary for the developing fetus. So therefore, of course, pregnant women should take in more biotin than non-pregnant women. Biotin deficiency signs, of course, are alopecia, lethargy, hallucinations. This is what's very important that people do not think about when they're thinking. This is where orthomolecular psychiatry comes in and Dr. Abraham Hoffer's work. Okay, hallucinations can be a sign of biotin deficiency. Okay, too often people are marked down. I worked in mental health and I know this. Too often people that are homeless or alcoholic or in other ways are going to develop severe nutrient deficiencies are marked down as being schizophrenic or other things, and they're most likely nutrient deficient, dehydrated, low blood glucose, they're hypoglycemic and things of that nature. It's important to note that psychiatry does not test for these things anymore and does not rule them out. And therefore, it can lead to people getting a diagnosis that does not actually fit what's going on and that can keep them from getting proper treatment. When I worked in mental health, there was a gentleman that had heart failure and was misdiagnosed with generalized anxiety disorder. That's not cool, okay? It's not cool. That's the stuff that happens. So remember, hallucinations can be a sign of biotin deficiency. A scaly rash around the mouth and on the face and numbness in the extremities, of course, are all signs. Brittle fingernails, of course, keratin, because your hair, your skin, and your nails are all keratin. which is a protein. Now, when they start getting brittle and weak and things like that, it's a sign of biotin deficiency. I did not supplement with biotin back when I thought I had a cardiac issue. And the reason why was because of the issue with the troponin levels. I didn't want to get a fouled troponin level or a skewed troponin level if I ever did have a cardiac event. I may start supplementing with biotin again simply because, as I said, there's no toxicity level. And the other thing is, despite it skewing those things, it does help the hair grow. It actually does help correct things. Like, as you can see, I do have a bit of a receding hairline at the moment. When I was supplementing with biotin, it corrected that. So it is interesting what biotin can do. It also, of course, prevents wrinkling and things of that nature. A lot of the B vitamins prevent wrinkling. In fact, I highly, 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 highly encourage people to read the books by Dr. Nicholas Perricone, especially the book, The Wrinkle Cure. The Wrinkle Cure, I think it's his first book. It's his best book. It talks about things like alpha-lipoic acid and vitamin C and fat-soluble vitamin C and coenzyme Q10 and the importance of these nutrients in the prevention of the aging of the skin as well as the other organ systems of the body. Dr. Perricone is a very interesting person. He was a neurologist. Well, he served in the military. He was a surgeon in the military. Then he was a neurologist, and then he was a dermatologist. Very interesting gentleman. He talks about the brain-beauty connection, the importance of a healthy nervous system, and how a healthy nervous system and healthy skin are connected to each other. I do highly recommend people read his books, and that's all for this video.